Class, our topic for today is incremental analysis or relevant costing. For me, ito na yung pinaka-challenging topic in management accounting, but I will simplify this for you. So just listen very carefully. Are you ready? Sige, let's start. Sir, what is incremental analysis? Incremental analysis is a tool used by management for decision making. Okay, so in incremental analysis, the management will be presented with different alternatives. And then pipiliin natin what is the best course of action. So basically class, in incremental analysis, meron tayong different alternatives or different options, and then pipiliin natin kung ano yung best option for us. Okay, now, we have 6 types of incremental analysis. Ito yung mga lumalabas sa board exam. Number 1 is make or buy. Sir, ano ibig sabihin ng make or buy? When you say make, we manufacture our own products. When you say buy, we buy from outside supplier. So, pipili tayo. Do we make or do we buy? Kaya tinawag mo siyang alternatives. Ano yung mga alternatives natin? Do we make or do we buy? Do we accept or reject? Retain or replace? Retain or eliminate? Sell immediately or process further? And which products to produce? Iisa-isahin natin yan. Alright? Now, sir, how do we know what is the best course of action? We base our decision on relevant costs. Okay? Kaya siya tinawag na relevant costing. Okay? Now, a cost is relevant if it has these 2 characteristics. So listen carefully. Ito na yung pinaka-important concept. First is, it must be future. The cost must be future. Ibig sabihin, i-incur pa lang natin, gagastusin pa lang natin. Ang opposite ng class is past cost. Or ang term natin dyan is sunk cost. If it's a past cost or sunk cost, it is irrelevant. Okay? Hindi natin siya isasama sa analysis natin. Alright? So again, for a cost to be relevant, it must be a future cost. Next, for a cost to be relevant, it must be incremental. Kaya siya tinawag na incremental analysis. Okay? Ang ibang term sa incremental is differential. Sir, ano ibig sabihin ng incremental or differential? Ibig sabihin, the cost must differ among alternatives. I'll give you an example. For example, yung cost to make natin is 70,000. Okay? Pag manufacture tayo ng sariling products natin, 70,000 yung magagastos natin. Pag naman bumili na tayo from outside, buy, 50,000 lang. Okay? So yung difference na 20,000, ang tawag natin diyang class is differential cost. Okay? Ibig sabihin, relevant sa atin yung 20,000. Now, what if naman class, ang mangyayari dyan, let's say yung cost to make mo is also 50,000. Cost to make 50, cost to buy 50. Ibig sabihin, hindi yun differential. Okay? Irrelevant sa atin yun. Alright? So dapat, pag sabi mong differential, may difference yung cost among alternatives. Gets? So ulitin ko lang. For a cost to be relevant, it must be future and it must be incremental. Now, ito yung general rule natin. Para madalian ka magsagot ng mga problems, i-apply mo yung general rule natin. Sir, ano yung general rule? General rule natin, class, is all variable costs are relevant. Okay? All variable costs are relevant. Ano ba yung mga variable costs? Direct materials, direct labor, variable overhead, and variable selling and administrative expenses. Yun yung mga examples ng variable costs natin. Ulitin ko, general rule, all variable costs are relevant. Alright? Now, fixed cost can also be relevant only if the fixed cost is avoidable. Okay? Fixed cost is only relevant if it is avoidable. Kapag unavoidable siya, irrelevant yan. Okay? Sir, ano ba ibig sabihin ng avoidable? Let's have an illustration. For example, class, we manufacture 3 products. Product A, B, and C. Okay? So, ngayon, ito yung factory natin. Currently, nagre-renta tayo ng factory wherein dyan natin pinoproduce yung mga units natin. Let's say 100,000 per month yung renta natin sa factory natin. Alright? Now, nag-decide tayo na, sige, huwag na natin i-offer si C, i-discontinue na natin si product C. Ano mangyayari dun class sa 100,000 per month mo na renta, which is a fixed cost? You will still pay 100,000 per month. Okay? Kasi fixed cost yan eh. Tama? Ang tawag natin doon, unavoidable. So, ibig sabihin, whether you produce kahit ilang units, ang babayaran mo pa rin per month is 100,000. Does that make sense? Unavoidable yun. Sir, kailan magiging avoidable? For example, class, tinigil na natin si product C. And then nag-decide tayo, lilipat na tayo sa mas maliit na factory. Let's say, ang bayad natin dyan is 60,000 per month lang. Yung difference na 160 na 40,000 per month, ang tawag natin dyan, avoidable cost. Na-avoid natin. Okay? From 100 to 60. Gets na? Okay. Ulitin ko. Ang general rule, lahat ng variable cost, basta variable cost yan, relevant yan. Fixed cost, relevant lang siya if avoidable. Isipin mo na lang, ginawa kong illustration. If the problem is silent, fixed costs are unavoidable. Okay? Kasi i-incur mo pa rin yan kahit gano'ng karaming units na i-produce mo. Gets? Okay. Ayan, yan yung overview natin sa topic natin yan. May mga special cases yan. Okay? As we answer our handouts, doon natin i-discuss yung mga special cases. Sige, let's start with problem solving. Punta ka muna dun sa problem 1 and then i-apply natin, class, yung minention ko na general rules natin. Let's go to problem number 1. Pinnacle Company, for the next 2 questions, no? Pinnacle Company needs 10,000 units of a certain part to be used in the production cycle. The following information is available concerning the unit product cost. Tignan mo natin yung questions. Question 1, the total relevant cost to make the part internally. And question number 2, the best alternative course of action. So basically, for question 1, make or buy yan. Okay, this is a make or buy question. Now, the following information is available. Material 6, labor 24, variable overhead 12, fixed overhead 15. Okay, so yan yung binigay sa atin sa given. Now, next paragraph, a supplier has offered to supply Pinnacle's entire annual requirements of the part for 53 pesos each. So, yun yung offer sa atin ng supplier. Yun yung buy. Tama? Pag nag-buy tayo from outside supplier, ang ibabayad natin is 53 pesos per unit. Okay? If it buys the part from the supplier, instead of making it, it will have no other use for the facilities and 60% of the fixed manufacturing overhead would continue. Ano ibig sabihin ng class? Pag bumili daw tayo from outside supplier, 60% of the fixed overhead would continue. Ano yung 60%? Avoidable or unavoidable? Unavoidable. Would continue nga, di ba? So, i-incur mo pa rin siya. Ibig sabihin, yung 40%, yun yung avoidable. Okay? So, kung ang total is 15 times 40%, 15 times 0.4, 6 is avoidable. Therefore, 9 is unavoidable. So, sulat mo yan. Out of the total fixed overhead, 6 is avoidable, 9 is unavoidable. Okay. In deciding whether to make or buy the part, question 1, the total relevant cost to make are, sir, paano mo sasagutan yan? Apply mo lang to. Yan lang i-apply mo, kaya mo sagutan yan. Again, general rule natin, lahat ng variable costs, relevant. Lahat ng avoidable fixed costs are relevant. So, ganito gagawin ko class sa question number 1. Okay, so this is our cost to make and this is our cost to buy. Okay, titignan natin yung mga relevant cost. Pipiliin natin dyan kung ano yung lower cost. Kasi doon tayo mas makakatipid. Tama? Point of view tayo ni buyer. So, piliin natin kung saan tayo mas makakatipid. Okay? Now, cost to make, lahat ng variable cost yan. Okay? Direct materials, given sa problem, is 6. Direct labor, 24. Variable overhead is 12. And then, so ito yung variable cost natin. Tama? Relevant sa atin yan. Kanina, na-compute natin yung avoidable fixed overhead, which is 6. Na-compute na natin ito kanina. Fixed overhead na 6. Therefore, class, if i-add natin yan, 6 plus 24 plus 12 plus 6, makukuha natin dito is 48. Ito yung relevant cost to make natin. Pag tayo yung nag-manufacture ng sarili nating product, ang magagastos natin is 48 pesos per unit. Gets? Okay. Now, ano naman yung relevant cost to buy natin? Well, yung offer ng supplier. Ang offer niya, na selling price is 53. O class, ano pipiliin mo dyan? Do you make or do you buy? Obviously, you make. Kasi mas makakatipid ka. 48 lang compared sa 53. Alright? Now, sabi sa question 1, the relevant costs to make the part. Ano yung sagot mo dyan? Well, ang ipoproduce natin is 10,000 units. So, 48 per unit times 10,000, ang total relevant cost to make natin is 480,000. This is your answer for question number 1. 480,000, letter B or boy. Okay. Question number 2, the best alternative course of action. Alam na natin, make. Pero how much yung savings natin? Well, pag nag-make tayo, 48 lang, tama? Pag nag-buy tayo, 53. Therefore, ang savings mo dyan, 5 per unit. Tama? Yun yung matitipid mo. 5 per unit times 10,000. Therefore, ang total savings mo dyan is 50,000. Answer mo for question number 2 is make, letter C, make 50,000 savings. Okay. So, ayan. That's how you answer problem number 1. Ano yung apply natin? Ito lang. Kaya mo sagutin yan. Okay. So, let's go to problem number 2. Basahin mo natin yung question. What is the differential cost to ABC company by purchasing the components from XYZ? Okay, let's read the given. ABC company manufactures components for use in producing one of its finished products. When 12,000 units are produced, the full cost per unit is 35. So underline mo yung 12,000 units. And then nakalagay dyan 35 as follows. Direct materials 5, direct labor 15, variable overhead 10, and fixed overhead 5. Okay. XYZ company has offered to sell 12,000 components to ABC for 37. So, yun yung cost to buy natin. May nag-offer ng supplier sa atin na 37 per unit. Okay? If ABC accepts the offer, some of the facilities currently being used to manufacture the components can be rented as warehouse space for 40,000. Ano ibig sabihin ng class? Pag bumili daw tayo from outside supplier, yung warehouse natin, pwede natin iparenta sa iba. Kikita tayo doon. Alright? Ang tawag doon savings. Okay, may savings tayo na 40,000. However, 3 pesos of the fixed overhead currently applied to each component would have to be covered by ABC's other products. Class, ano ibig sabihin nun? 3 pesos would have to be covered by ABC's other products. Ibig sabihin, unavoidable yon. Okay? May incur pa rin yan, yung 3 pesos na overhead. Sa problem, ang nakalagay na overhead is 5. If yung 3 is unavoidable, ibig sabihin class, the 2 pesos is avoidable. Tama lang? Okay. What is the differential cost to ABC company of purchasing the components from XYZ? Well, parang ginawa natin sa number 1. So, gagawin ko dito class, compute natin yung relevant cost to make and relevant cost to buy. Okay, doon muna tayo sa make. Apply lang natin yung general rule, variable cost and avoidable fixed cost. Let's go to variable cost, direct materials. 5. Given sa problem yan. Direct labor, 15. Variable overhead, nakalagay dyan is 10. Fixed overhead, again, yung avoidable lang. Earlier, na-compute natin is 2 pesos. So, lagay mo dyan 2. And then, total natin siya was 5 plus 15 plus 10 plus 2. Total is 32 per unit. Ilang units yung ipoproduce dito or bibilin dito? 12,000 units. Okay? So, multiply natin. Times 12,000 units. 32 times 12,000. Cost to make natin is 384,000. Yan yung cost to make natin. Kung-compare natin yan sa cost to buy. Tignan natin saan tayo mas makakatipid. Right? Now, ang offer sa atin na selling price ng supplier is 37. Okay, 37. Ilang units yan? 12,000. 37 times 12,000. So, compute natin class. 37 times 12,000. 444,000. Okay? Yan yung price ng 12,000 units. But take note na may savings tayo. Pag daw bumili tayo from supplier, mapaparenta natin yung warehouse sa ibang tao. So, mayroon tayong savings. How much? 40,000. Ima-minus mo yun. So, ito yung kagasusin mo, i-minus mo yung savings. Okay? Yan yung matitipid mo na 40,000. Therefore, ang cost to buy natin is 404,000. So, 404,000 minus 40, 404,000. Okay, class? Ano yung best course of action natin? Do we make or do we buy? Answer is, we make. Mas mura, di ba? 384,000 lang. Yun yung best option sa atin. We make the product on our own. Okay? So, ang tanong dito, class, what is the differential cost to ABC? Ano ba ibig sabihin ng differential? Different or difference. Okay? Ibig sabihin, ima-minus mo yung dalawa na yan. 404 minus 384. Yung differential cost natin is 20,000. Answer mo dyan is letter B for boy for number 2. Okay? So, ayan. Let's go to number 3. Okay, so third question para dun sa make or buy. We have 2 questions for problem number 3. Question 1, if ABC purchases 10 units, alright, and then tinatanong sa atin, should ABC decide to purchase a part? So, this is question number 1. Let's read the given. Now, ABC company uses production of large diesel engines. The cost to manufacture 1 unit of engine is presented below. Direct materials, 2,000. Materials handling, 20% of direct material cost. Direct labor, 16,000. And manufacturing overhead, 24,000. Materials handling, which is not included in manufacturing overhead, represents the direct variable costs of the receiving department that are applied to direct materials and purchased components on the basis of their cost. Ano ibig sabihin ng class? Ibig sabihin, class, whenever daw gagamit tayo ng materials or bibili ng materials, mag-i-incur tayo ng materials handling. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin, yung materials handling is a variable cost. Therefore, relevant cost siya. Okay? Yun yung implication nun. Okay, next. An outside vendor has offered to supply a unit price at a unit price of 30,000. May nag-offer sa atin na outside. Okay, so ang question dito, do we make or do we buy? Let's go to question 1. If ABC purchases 10 units from outside vendor, the capacity ABC used to manufacture these parts would be idle. Should ABC decide to purchase the parts, the out-of-pocket cost per unit would, o tignan natin, compare natin si make at buy. Okay, same concept, i-apply natin for number 3. Okay, so make and then buy. For make, ano yung ma-incur natin? Lahat ng variable cost. Direct materials, 2,000. And then, don't forget yung materials handling. Okay, kasi variable cost din yan. Ano basis yan? 20% of direct materials cost. 2,000 times 20%, that's 400. Okay, materials handling is 400. What else? Meron tayong direct labor, which is 16,000. And then, sabi diyang class, sa middle portion ng problem, ABC's annual manufacturing overhead is 1/3 variable and 2/3 fixed. So, ang given sa atin overhead is 24,000. Tama? 1/3 daw dyan variable. Ano ba 1/3 ng 24,000? 8,000. So, ibig sabihin, yung variable overhead natin, which is a relevant cost, is 8,000. Ayan, this is our cost to make. So, add natin yung class 2,000 plus 400 plus 16,000 plus 8,000, you get 26,400. This is our cost to make. Okay? Ano naman yung cost to buy? Well, yung cost to buy natin, how much ba yung selling price na in-offer sa atin? 30,000 per unit. So, 30,000 per unit. And then, don't forget class na whether we make or we buy, lagi ito tayo mag-i-incur ng materials handling. Okay? So, may materials handling ka din dyan, which is 20% of 30,000. 30,000 times 0.2, 6,000 yan. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung cost to buy natin, 30 plus 6, you have 36,000. Okay, so ang question ko dito sa inyo, do we make or do we buy? Obviously, we make. Mas makakatipid tayo dyan. How much? Tingnan natin yung difference nila. 36,000 minus 26,400. Savings natin dyan, 9,600. So, sagot mo dyan sa question number 1, increase by 9,600. Okay? Sabi dyan, should ABC decide to purchase the parts? Ibig sabihin, if ang ginawa daw niya, nag-buy siya, tataas yung cost natin. Tama? Ng 9,600. So, answer mo dyan, letter C, increase 9,600. Gets? Okay. Question number 2. Assume ABC is able to rent all idle capacity for 50,000 per month. If ABC decides to purchase 10 units from outside vendor, ABC's monthly cost would, tignan natin, what if daw, pwede niya iparent yung 50,000, savings yan. Okay, so paano gagawin mo dyan, sir? Well, pag nag-make tayo, ilang units yung sabi dyan? 10 units, tama, 10. 26,400 per unit. 26,400 times 10, that is 264,000. Okay, ito yung cost to make natin para sa 10 units. Tama? I-compare natin yan sa cost to buy. How much yung cost to buy? Well, 36,000 per unit. Okay, 36,000 times 10, tama ba class? Ang cost to buy natin is 360,000. Kaya lang, may savings tayo kasi mapaparenta mo daw yung warehouse. Tama? How much? 50,000 per month. So, 360 minus 50, yung savings mo dito class is 300, yung cost to buy mo is 310,000. Tama? So, cost to make is 264, cost to buy is 310. Well, obviously, mas makakamura pa rin tayo pag nag-make tayo. So, ano ba yung tanong sa atin dyan? If ABC decides to purchase from outside vendor, pag daw nag-buy tayo, ano yung effect niyan? ABC's monthly cost would, obviously, mag-i-increase. Okay, kasi mas mahal. Tama? 310,000 minus 264,000, answer mo dyan, 46,000. Mag-i-increase yung cost natin by 46,000, letter A for question number 2. Ganun lang. Okay? In-apply natin yung general rule. Okay, nasagot natin lahat. Easy. Okay, so, and ganyan ang class. So, in Pinnacle, sa review natin for CPA board exam, take note, lahat ng topic sa board exam, i-discuss natin yan. But in the most efficient and effective way. So, katulad nito, Nagpakita ko sa inyo ng structure, ng technique kung paano sagutan. Lahat nasasagutan natin. Alright? So, ganun yung discussion natin in Pinnacle. As you notice, hindi ganun kahaba yung videos natin. Straight to the point tayo kung ano lang important para sa board exam. Okay? Sige. Now, we're done with make or buy. Punta naman tayo dito sa accept or reject special order. Sir, ano ba ibig sabihin ng special order? When you say special order, ibig sabihin yan, class, meron tayong new customer na nag-o-order sa atin. Yun ang ibig sabihin nun. Special order, meron tayong new customer. Okay, now, ito yung important dito, class. Whenever there's a special order sa problem, titignan mo muna kung meron tayong capacity. 2 scenarios lang naman yan. First scenario natin is with excess capacity. Second scenario natin, without excess capacity or no capacity. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin yan, sir? So, imagine mo, class, ito yung factory natin. Okay? Yung factory natin, ang maximum capacity niya na pwede niyang i-produce is 10,000 units. Ayan. So, yun yung maximum. Pag tinodo mo yung production natin, maximum is 10,000 units. Scenario 1. Let's say meron tayong 4 na customers. Customer A, B, C, and D. Alright? Now, let's say magbebenta tayo sa kanila na 2,000 units each for A, B, C, and D. Okay? Tama ba, class? Ang total nito is 8,000. 10,000 yung maximum capacity natin na kaya natin i-produce. Currently, nagbebenta tayo ng 8,000. Meron tayong 2,000 pa. Ano tawag dun sa 2,000 na yun? Excess capacity. Scenario 1 natin, yan yung example natin na with excess capacity. Okay? Scenario 2. What if ang binebenta natin for each of our customer is 2,500 units? Tama ba? Pag tinotal mo yan, 10,000 units. Now, maximum natin is 10,000 units. Currently, nagbebenta tayo ng 10,000 units. Ang tawag doon, without excess capacity. Okay? Without excess capacity. Sir, ano ba yung relevance yan? With excess capacity and without excess capacity. Pag with excess capacity, class, ang i-apply mo lang dyan, yung general rule natin. Ano yung general rule? Ito. All variable costs are relevant. All avoidable fixed costs are relevant. Okay? So, kaya una mo titingnan kung may excess capacity ba or wala. Pag with excess capacity, parang scenario 1 natin, apply mo lang yung ginawa natin sa first 3 problems. Sir, paano naman kung without excess capacity? Parang yung scenario 2 natin. Ganito gagawin mo dyan, class. Apply mo yung general rule plus consider mo yung opportunity cost. Sir, ano ibig sabihin ng opportunity cost? Ganito yan, class. Special order, tama? So, scenario 2 tayo. Maximum capacity, 10,000. Currently, nagbebenta tayo ng 10,000. Let's say, lumapit sa atin si customer E. Okay? Nag-order siya sa atin, special order. Gusto niya ng 1,000 units. Kaya mo pa bang mabentahan si customer E? Hindi na, kasi currently, 10,000 yung max, nagbebenta tayo ng 10,000. Hindi natin pwede bentahan si E. Okay? Except, bawasan natin yung existing customer natin. Okay? For example, ang gawin natin, si D, ang ibenta muna natin kay D, 1,500. Para yung 1,000, ibenta natin kay E. Tama? Yun ang pwede mong gawin. Ngayon, ang tawag dyan, class, is opportunity cost. Nasayang yung 1,000 or ibig sabihin, hindi na natin pwedeng ibenta yung 1,000 kay customer D. Okay? Ano yung mawawala sa atin? So, ibig sabihin, lost sales yan. Okay? Mawawalan tayo ng sales kay customer D for 1,000. So, ang opportunity cost, para makompute mo yan, basically, iyan lang yung foregone o finorgo natin na contribution margin. Alright? Ano yung finorgo natin? Since binentahan natin si E, dapat ibawas natin yan sa current customers natin. Alright? How much yung nawala sa atin? The contribution margin from our current customer. Mamaya, i-apply natin yan sa handouts natin. But basically, ito yung rules natin. Whenever ang tanong sa'yo is accept or reject special order. Okay. Apply natin yung class. Let's go to problem number 4. For problem number 4, we have 3 questions. Okay, so independent questions yan. Basahin natin. The marker division of ABC produces high-quality whiteboard markers. Unit production cost based on a capacity of 10,000 units. Underline mo yung 10,000. Ano ibig sabihin yung class? Yan do yung maximum capacity, 10,000 units. Direct materials, 50. Direct labor, 20. Overhead, 20% variable. So, total yan is 10. 20% daw variable. So, 10 times 20% is 2. Okay? So yung variable is 2, therefore 8 is fixed. Okay? For the overhead. Other information, selling price 100, selling and administrative expenses 40% variable. Ano ba yung 40% ng 15? 15 times 0.4, that is 6. Okay, ibig sabihin, 6 yung variable, 9 yung fixed. Okay? That's for your selling and administrative expenses. So let's go to question 1. Assume, for this question only, that the marker division is operating at a level of 7,000 units per year. What is the minimum price that the division would consider in a special order of 1,000 units to be distributed? Okay, sir, paano gagawin mo dyan? So problem number 4, question 1, tignan mo muna. Ano mo titingnan? Yung capacity. Okay? So ang maximum capacity based on the second sentence is 10,000 units. Presently, nakalagay dyan class, sa question number 1, nagbebenta daw tayo ng 7,000 units. Tama ba class? Meron tayong excess capacity na 3,000 units. Ibig sabihin, pag may nag-special order sa atin na 3,000, pwede pa natin mabentahan. Okay? Without losing our sales sa existing customers. Gets? Okay. Ano yung i-apply natin? Pag with excess capacity, apply mo yung general rule. Ano yung general rule? Ito. Okay, so, tingnan natin class. How much daw yung price na i-charge natin para sa special order? Apply mo lang to. So, variable cost, start muna tayo with direct materials, which is 50, given yan sa problem. Direct labor, 20. And then, variable overhead, na-compute natin earlier, is 2. And then, ano pa yung mga variable natin? Variable selling and administrative expenses, na-compute natin earlier, it's 6. So, let's add 50 plus 20 plus 2 plus 6, you get here 78. Yun yung sagot mo. Question number 1, answer natin class is 78. Ganun kadali. Bakit sir? Kasi meron tayong excess capacity na 3,000. 1,000 na naman yung binibili sa ating special order. Kayang-kaya natin bentahan yan. Pag may excess capacity ka, apply mo lang yung general rule. O, ayan. Na-apply natin, ito yung variable cost mo. Ayan, lahat. Wala ka namang avoidable fixed, wala kang avoidable fixed cost dito sa problem. So, total mo yan, 78 is your relevant cost. Iyan yung minimum price na i-charge mo sa special order. Gets? Okay. Let's go to question 2. Question 2. Assume, for this question only, that the marker division is producing and selling at capacity. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Pag selling at capacity, ibig sabihin, yung max capacity natin, 10,000. Presently, binibenta na natin yan lahat sa customers natin. Ibig sabihin, wala kang excess capacity. 0. Pag walang excess capacity, consider natin yung opportunity cost or yung mawawala na sales sa atin sa existing customers. Gets? Okay. What is the minimum selling price the division would consider in a special order of 1,000 units on which no variable period cost would be incurred? Ano ibig sabihin nun sa last portion na yun? No variable period cost would be incurred. Ito daw hindi mo na i-incur. Yan yung period cost, diba? Yung selling and admin expenses, hindi mo na daw i-incur yan. So, what is the selling price? Ganito gagawin ko yung class. Ano yung mga relevant cost natin? Variable cost. Direct materials, 50. Direct labor is 20. Variable overhead is 2. Okay? Huwag mo na yan isama. Yung 6. Kasi sabi sa problem, hindi mo daw i-incur yan. Okay? So, wala na yan. 50 plus 20 plus 2, that is 72. Pero hindi pa yan yung final answer mo. Bakit? Kasi bukod sa general rule, i-compute pa natin yung opportunity cost. Paano compute yung opportunity cost? Contribution margin. How do you compute contribution margin? Selling price minus variable cost. Okay, let's compute the opportunity cost. Ano yung selling price natin dito? Nakalagay dyan sa given, it's 100. Okay? Ang tanong ko sa inyo class, anong variable cost yung gagamitin mo? 78 or 72? Isipin nyo mabuti. 78 or 72? Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, yung mawawala natin na sales sa existing customer. Ang gagamitin mo dyan class is 78. Okay? Bakit sir? Kasi class, ang pinag-uusapan natin, yung existing customer. Ito yung existing, ito yung special order natin. Okay? Ang mawawala sa atin from existing customer is 100 minus 78 or 22 pesos na contribution margin. Okay? Gets? 78 dapat gamitin mo dyan. Now, ano yung final answer mo dyan? Sabi ko dyan, general rule plus opportunity cost. 72 na compute natin, add mo yung opportunity cost na 22. This gives you 94. Final answer for question number 2 is 94, letter D. Ganyan na siya. Question number 3. Assume, for this question only, that the marker division is presently operating at a level of 8,000 units. Accepting a special order on 2,000 units at 88 will. Ano ibig sabihin niyan, sir? Well, meron tayong maximum capacity na 10,000. Right? Presently, nagpo-produce tayo ng 8,000. Therefore, meron pa tayong excess. How much? Or how many units? 2,000 units. Okay? Pwede pa tayong magbenta ng 2,000 units. So dito, nakalagay, accepting a special order on 2,000 units at 88, yung 88 yung selling price, will, ganito mangyayari dyan. Pag in-accept natin yung special order, yung price natin is 88. And then, ang i-incur natin na variable cost is 78. Tama? Therefore, ang contribution margin natin for every unit of special order is 10 pesos. Ilan units yan? 2,000. 10 times 2,000. Ibig sabihin, mag-i-increase ng 20,000 yung profits natin. Sagot mo dyan, class, letter B, increase total corporate profits by 20,000 because our selling price is greater than our relevant cost, which is yung 78, okay? Kikita tayo ng 10 per unit, times sa 2,000, total na profit natin will increase by 20,000 pesos. Letter B for number 3. Okay. Let's go to, anong number tayo? Problem number 5 na tayo. Okay, problem number 5. A company is currently operating at a loss of 15,000 pesos. The sales manager has received a special order for 5,000 units of product, which normally sells for 35 pesos per unit. Tignan mo natin class yung question. Okay. If it wants this special order to increase the income to 10,000, the sales price or selling price must be quoted for each of the, what selling price must be quoted for each of the 5,000 units. Okay, so selling price yung tanong. Okay, let's continue reading. Costs associated with the product are direct material 6, direct labor 10, variable overhead 3, applied fixed overhead 4, variable selling expenses 2. Okay? The special order would allow the use of a slightly lower grade of direct material, thereby lowering the price per unit by 1.5. So, ibig sabihin niyang class, yung materials na 6, hindi na 6 yung gagastusin natin. Pwede tayo makatipid ng 1.5 pesos. 6 minus 1.5 is 4.5. Alright? And selling expenses would be decreased by 1 pesos. If it wants the special order to increase a total income to 10,000, how much do yung selling price? So, ano gagawin mo dyan? Well, apply lang natin yung general rule natin. Okay? Ano yung mga relevant cost natin? Direct materials, 4.5. Direct labor is 10. Variable overhead for this problem, nakalagay dyan 3. Okay? Variable selling, nakalagay dyan 2, pero dun sa last sentence, sa middle portion, nakalagay, the selling expenses would be decreased by 1. So, 2 minus 1, 1 na lang yung variable selling natin. Okay? So, add nga natin yung class, 4.5 plus 10 plus 3 plus 1, you get 18.5. Okay. Yan na ba yung sagot mo, sir? Hindi pa. Bakit, sir? Kasi ang sabi dyan, ang goal ng company, from net loss na 15,000, gusto nilang maging net income yan na 10,000. So, yun yung gusto nilang mangyari. From net loss, gusto mag-income na 10,000. Ibig sabihin, class, how much dapat mag-increase yung income natin para ma-achieve yan? Dapat mag-increase yung income natin by 15,000. Tama lang ba? Kasi pag net loss ka ng 15, negative amount na 15, pag nag-add ka ng, sorry, hindi pala 15, 25,000. Okay. Pag net loss ka ng 15, pag nag-add ka ng positive 25, magiging positive 10,000 yung income natin. Tama lang? So, ito yung gusto nating increase. Ilang units yung ibebenta natin? 5,000. Alright? So, 25,000 divided by 5,000, gusto nating idagdag sa selling price natin is 5. Okay? Now, ang magiging sagot mo dyan, class, ito yung variable cost natin, or yung relevant cost na 18.5, i-add mo pa yung 5 na yan. Kasi gusto natin na yung loss natin from 15, maging income na 10,000. 18.5 plus 5, you get 23.5. Sagot natin for number 5 is letter A, 23.5. Okay, so that's for accept or reject special order. Okay, class, let's go to the third one, retain or replace equipment. So, ibig sabihin yan, it's either we retain the old equipment or replace it with a new equipment. Sir, paano natin malalaman yan? Well, stick lang tayo dito sa relevant costs. Okay? So, i-analyze natin per cost, determine natin if it's relevant or irrelevant. Just a review, relevant siya if it's a future cost and if it's an incremental cost. Okay, so apply natin yung class. Let's go to problem number 6. For problem number 6, we have 4 questions. No? So basahin natin. A company is trying to decide whether it should keep its existing machine or purchase a new one that has technological advantages, okay, which translate into cost savings over the existing machine. Information on each machine follows. So tignan natin class. Per item, tignan natin if it's relevant or irrelevant. Original cost of the old machine, 9,000. Irrelevant yan. Bakit sir? Kasi yung old machine na yan, original cost, na-incur mo na yan in the past. Sunk cost na yan. That's why it's irrelevant. Okay? But yung original cost of the new machine, relevant sa atin yan. Kasi i-incur mo pa lang yan. Gagastusin mo pa lang. Future cost. Gets? Next, accumulated depreciation. Past na yan. So, it's a sunk cost. Irrelevant. Annual cash operating costs. 9,000 sa old machine, 4,000 sa new machine. How much class dyan yung relevant sa atin? Yung difference nila, yung differential. Okay? 9,000 minus 4,000, yung 5,000, yun lang yung relevant sa atin. Gets? Okay. Current salvage value of old machine, relevant yan. Kasi pag bumili ka ng new machine, ibebenta mo yung old machine mo. Okay? And then salvage value in 10 years, so 10 years po na, matagal pa yan. So hindi pa natin siya concerned as of this moment. Okay? So let's go to question number 1. The 4,000 of annual operating costs that are common to both the old and new machine are an example of, boy, yan irrelevant cost. So again class, dun sa 9,000 na annual operating cost ni old machine, tama ba nakalagay dyan? For number 6, question 1, tama ba class yung 9,000 na annual operating cost? Yung 4,000 dyan, common sa kanilang dalawa yan. That's why irrelevant yan. Tama? Yung 5,000, differential cost yan. That's why yan yung relevant sa atin. So answer mo for question number 1, yung 4,000, that's irrelevant in our analysis. Okay? Question number 2, the 9,000 cost of the original machine. As I said earlier, na-incur mo na in the past, sunk cost na yan. Letter A yung sagot mo dyan, sunk cost. Number 3, the 20,000 cost of the new machine, i-incur mo pa lang, okay, babayaran mo pa lang. Answer mo dyan is, boy, future relevant costs. And question number 4, the incremental cost to purchase the new machine. So ano yung incremental cost natin? Well, basically, kung how much yung relevant cost natin. Gagawin ko dyan class, how much yung new machine? Purchase price natin, 20,000. Ibabayaran natin 20,000. But take note, kapag binili mo yung new machine, ibebenta mo yung old machine, tama? So yung salvage value of the old machine is irrelevant cost. How much yun? 2,000. 20,000 minus 2,000. Yung incremental cost natin or relevant cost for question number 4 is 18,000. Answer mo dyan class, letter D, 18,000. Alright? Now, ang technique lang, dito sa retain or replace equipment, analyze per item. Ano ba yan? Relevant ba yan or irrelevant? Usually, kapag cost na ng old machine and yung mga accumulated depreciation, sunk cost na yan. Okay? So that's how you do problem number 6. So practice pa tayo. Let's go to number 7. 7. ABC Industries has an opportunity to acquire a new equipment to replace one of its existing equipment. The new equipment would cost 900,000 and has a 5-year useful life. So class yung 900, is it relevant or irrelevant? Relevant yan kasi future cost. Gagastusin pa lang natin. Okay? Okay, with a zero terminal disposal price or zero salvage value. Variable operating costs would be 1 million per year. Yun yung sa new equipment. Tama? The present equipment has a book value of 500,000 class. Is the book value relevant or irrelevant? Irrelevant. Bakit? Past na yan. Okay? Remaining life of 5 years. Its disposal price now is 50,000. Yun daw yung salvage value niya. Pag bumili ka ng new equipment, pwede mo ibenta yung old equipment for 50,000. But would be zero after 5 years. Variable operating costs would be 1 to 50,000 per year. Okay. Now, si new equipment, 1 million per year yung cost niya. Si old equipment, 1 to 50,000 per year. Ibig sabihin, meron kang savings na 250,000 per year. Okay? And we know, pag savings, kino-consider natin yan sa analysis natin. Okay. The company should, ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. Pag binili natin new equipment, okay, pag ni-replace natin yung old, how much yung magiging cost sa atin? Well, syempre yung purchase price. How much yung new machine? Nakalagay dyan sa problem, 900,000. Sa second sentence. Okay? So, minus 900. Gagastos tayo ng 900,000. Diba? Now, pag bili mo yung new equipment, pwede mo ibenta yung old equipment. So, yung salvage value of old equipment, relevant din sa atin yan. How much? 50,000 nakalagay. So, plus 50,000. What else? Meron din tayong savings. Tama? So, yung savings, sabi dyan, let's consider daw yung whole 5 years. So, how much yung savings? 1 million dun sa new equipment, 1,250,000 sa old. Ibig sabihin, 250,000 per year ang savings natin. 250,000 times 5, 1,250,000. So, plus yan kasi savings. Plus 1,250,000. So, how much plus yung magiging yung net amount yan? 1,250 plus 50 minus 900,000. Okay? So, positive 400,000. So, ibig sabihin class, if we replace the old equipment, meron tayong advantage or may benefit tayo na 400,000. Bakit siya benefit or bakit advantage? Kasi positive yan. Tama? Ito yung ginastos mo. Outflow yan. Binayad mo yan. Pero ito yung marireceive mo naman. Okay? So, answer natin dito class for number 7, letter A, replace due to 400,000 advantage. Okay? So, ganun lang. Ganun lang class kapag retain or replace equipment. Analyze mo lang per item if it's relevant or irrelevant. Alright. Let's go to number 4. Retain or eliminate unprofitable segment or product. Sir, paano natin malalaman if we retain or eliminate yung segment or product? Ito lang class yung kailangan mo malaman dyan. You have to compute for what you call segment margin. Okay, sir, ano yung segment margin? Segment margin is computed as, you start with sales, minus variable cost, minus avoidable fixed cost. You get the segment margin. Okay? If the segment margin is positive, i-retain mo yan. Okay? Huwag mo i-eliminate yan. If the segment margin is negative, i-eliminate mo na yan. Okay? So, ganun lang. We compute for the segment margin. Sir, parang familiar yung variable cost and avoidable fixed cost. Consistent yan sa general rule natin. It's just that this time, kino-consider din natin yung sales. Ulitin ko, how do you know if you are going to retain or eliminate a product or segment? Compute mo yung segment margin. Sales minus variable cost minus avoidable fixed cost. If the segment margin is positive, i-retain mo yan. Kasi profitable yan. Okay? Pag negative, hindi yan profitable, i-eliminate mo yan. O, ganun lang. Let's apply that to problem number 8. Okay, let's go to problem number 8. Okay, so let's see. AB's Corporation currently operates 2 divisions which had operating results last year as follows. So, meron tayong 2 divisions. Division A and Division D. So, we have sales we have variable cost, okay? We have contribution margin, we have traceable fixed costs, and allocated corporate common costs. And we get the net income. Okay, so given sa atin for both divisions, Division A and B. As you see class, si Division A, yung net income niya is positive 90,000. Si Division B, negative 15,000. Alright, so let's continue. Since Division B also sustained an operating loss in the prior year, the President is considering the elimination of this division. So, i-check nila if kailangan na bang i-eliminate si Division B kasi net loss siya, 15,000. Division B's traceable fixed costs could be avoided. Ano tawag doon? Avoidable fixed costs. Right? If the division were eliminated, the total common corporate costs would be unaffected. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Unavoidable by the decision. If Division B had been eliminated, the operating income would have been. Tingnan natin, kailangan bang i-eliminate si B? Let's see. Paano natin malaman? Compute natin yung segment margin. So, ganito lang gagawin ko class for problem number 8. For problem 8, how do we compute for the segment margin? Well, merong sales dyan si B. How much? 300,000. Okay? And then variable cost of 200,000. And then, how much yung avoidable fixed cost niya? Nakalagay dyan, yung traceable fixed cost could be avoided. How much yun? Dito sa problem, it's 70,000. Okay? Avoidable fixed cost, AFC na lang, avoidable fixed cost of 70. Ibig sabihin, class, yung segment margin ni B is, let's compute, 300,000 minus 200,000 minus 70,000, you get 30,000. Alright? So, positive yung segment margin ni B. Ano dapat yung decision natin? we retain segment B. Okay? So, ang sagot dyan, class, nakalagay dyan, if division B had been eliminated, pag in-eliminate mo si B, bababa yung income mo by 30,000. Okay? Pag ni-retain mo si B, meron ka pa rin income na 30,000. Nakalagay kasi dyan, if division B had been eliminated, the operating income would have been bababa by 30,000. Answer mo dyan, class, is boy for number 8. Ganun na siya kasimple. Now, sir, ano ba example nung nakalagay dyan na allocated common corporate cost? Kasi bagong term sa atin yun, tama? Pag sinabi mong common corporate cost, ang magandang example yan is advertising. So, si head office, isipin mo, ito si head office, marami siyang divisions. Okay? Si head office, siya yung nag-i-incur ng advertising. Tama? Now, kahit i-eliminate mo si division B, same pa rin yung i-incur na advertising ni head office. Okay? Kaya class, yung allocated cost, pag may nakita kang ganun, allocated common cost, ang isumo doon, unavoidable yan. Alright? So, ulitin ko, paano gagawin natin dyan? Sales minus variable cost minus avoidable fixed cost, we get a segment margin. If positive, retain. If negative, eliminate. Okay? Obviously, dito si Division A, si Division B kasi yan eh. Si Division A, obviously, i-retain mo din siya. Bakit? Kasi class, yung si Division A, sales niya 600, variable cost is 310, compute natin. Sales 600, minus variable cost na 310, minus traceable fixed cost na 110, so positive 180,000. Pareho silang positive yung segment margin. Therefore, ang decision natin dito, we retain both Division A and Division B. Okay? Sige. Practice pa tayo. Let's go to number 9. Okay, number 9. ABC Corporation's branch reported the following results of operations for the period just ended. Okay, we have sales, variable expenses, may contribution margin tayo. We have fixed expenses. Fixed expenses natin are the following: salaries, insurance, depreciation, and advertising. Na-mention ko earlier. Pag advertising, example yan ng allocated fixed cost. Therefore, unavoidable yan. As you can see here, class, si ABC, lost siya ng 125,000. And as you know, sa previous problem natin, hindi ibig sabihin na net loss, i-eliminate mo na. Hindi ganun. Kasi ang basis mo is a segment margin. Okay? So let's see. Let's analyze yung for number 9. The management is contemplating dropping the branch due to unfavorable operating results. If this would happen, one employee will have to be retained with an annual salary of 150,000. Ano ibig sabihin ng class? Pag daw in-eliminate, mayroon tayong i-retain na employee. Ang salary niya, 150,000. So yung 150,000, is it avoidable or unavoidable? Unavoidable. Okay? So hindi mo ma-avoid kasi gagastusin mo pa rin yun. Tama? The equipment will be transferred to another branch. Ano yung implication nun? Kasi may nakalagay dyan, depreciation and equipment. Fixed cost yun, tama? Ita-transfer daw siya sa ibang branch. I-incur mo pa rin ba yung depreciation? Yes, kasi gagamitin pa rin yung equipment. Therefore, yung depreciation dito is also unavoidable. Gets? Oh. Sige, apply natin. Let's compute the segment margin. So, ang gagawin ko dyan, class, we're trying to determine if i-drop ba natin or i-continue natin yung branch. Okay, I'll start with sales, 2.5 million. And then, ma-minus ko yung variable cost na 1 million. And then, avoidable fixed cost. Ano yung avoidable fixed cost natin, class? Isa-isay natin. How about salaries and wages? Well, yung 750 na yan, sabi dyan, yung 150, unavoidable. Therefore, 600,000 is avoidable. Does that make sense? Okay, 600,000. Ito yung salaries and wages natin. Salaries and wages. Next, insurance on inventories. Siyempre, ita-drop mo na yung branch. Hindi na siya makakapagbenta. Okay? So, ma-avoid mo yung insurance on inventories. Wala na siyang inventories. Okay? So, yung insurance is an avoidable fixed cost. Minus 50,000. Depreciation on equipment. Sabi sa problem, ita-transfer daw sa ibang branch. Ibig sabihin, gagamitin pa rin yung equipment. Depreciation is unavoidable. Okay? So, wala siya dyan. Kasi, avoidable lang. Yung pino-consider natin. Next, advertising. Na-explain ko na earlier. Allocated fixed cost yan. So, unavoidable yan. So, tignan natin, class. Let's compute the segment margin. 2.5 million minus variable cost of 1 million minus 600,000 minus 50,000. Answer mo dito, class, is 850,000. O, sige, tanungin ko kayo. Ano gagawin mo dun sa branch? Do you eliminate or continue? Continue mo kasi positive 850,000. That's why, ang sagot mo dito, class, for number 9 is letter A. Not be dropped due to foregone overall income of 850,000. For number 9, answer mo is letter A. So, ulitin ko, class, pag retain or eliminate unprofitable segment or product, compute mo lang yung segment margin. If positive, retain. If negative, eliminate. Okay. So, that's how you do number 4. Ayan, dalawa na lang. Next nating class is sell immediately or process further. So, ano ibig sabihin yan? I'll give you an illustration. Okay, erase mo natin to para may space tayo for the illustration. Okay, sell immediately or process further. For example, class, nagbebenta ako ng furniture. Okay, furniture. And then, ang ginagawa kong furniture, chairs, tables, and cabinet. Ayan, wooden furniture. Lahat yan made of wood. Yun yung business ko. Nagmamanufacture ako ng furniture, chairs, tables, and cabinets, then binibenta ko sa mga customers. Alright? So, imagine mo, class, ito yung process natin. So, from this point, up to this point, ang gagawin ko dyan, magka-cut muna ako ng mga different sizes ng wood. Yun yung gagamitin ko para sa chair, table, and cabinet. Okay? So, from this point, ito yung 0%, yun yung start ng process. So, let's say, class, ito 30%. Ayan. Mag-i-incur tayo ng direct materials, direct labor, and overhead. Alright? Ang gagawin lang natin dyan, magka-cut lang tayo ng different sizes ng wood para gagamitin natin sa furniture natin. Ang tawag natin dyan, class, is joint cost. JC na lang, joint cost. Ibig sabihin, yung materials, labor, and overhead na yan, na-incur mo sila para sa lahat ng products. Kaya joint. O, di ba, nag-cut tayo ng different sizes para sa lahat ng products yan. Joint cost yan. Okay? At this point, gagamitin na natin yung mga kinat natin na wood. Okay? Ang tawag dyan, split off point. Ibig sabihin, class, dito na natin makikita yung products natin. Let's say si product A, yan yung chairs. Product B, yan yung tables. Product C, yan yung cabinet natin. Alright? Now, at this point, pwede mo nang ibenta yung mga furniture natin. Okay? Yun yung ibig sabihin na sell immediately. At split off point, pwede mo nang ibenta yan. Ngayon, may option ka pa, class, na i-process further. Mag-incur ka pa ng cost dito and then dito mo siya ibenta. Ano tawag dun sa cost na yon? Further processing cost. Okay? For example, class, yung chair natin. Okay? Dito, ano pa lang siya, wala pa siyang, ang ginawa mo, pwede mo na ibenta yung chair dito. Pero nag-decide ka na i-process further yan. So, nag-decide ka, ipe-paint mo yung chair, ipe-paint mo muna, and then may i-upholster mo, okay, upholstery, saka mo pa lang siya ibebenta. Alright? So, ganun siya. Pwede mo siyang ibenta agad at split off, or i-process mo siya dito, then dito mo siya ibenta. Obviously, mas mataas yung price niyan pag pre-process further mo siya. Tama? So, ang tawag mo dito is further processing cost. Isipin niyo parang yun yung pagpe-paint natin ng chairs natin. Gets? Okay, now, ito yung decision natin. Sir, paano natin malalaman if ibebenta mo dito or ibebenta mo dito? Ito yung rule natin. Listen carefully. Ang rule natin dyan, class, process further only if your incremental revenue is greater than your incremental cost. Okay? Ipa-process further mo lang siya. Pag yung incremental revenue mo, mas mataas sa incremental cost. Ano, sir, yung incremental revenue? Iyan yung pagtaas ng selling price. Di ba? Pwede mo na ibenta dito yan. May selling price dito yan eh. Pero pag transfer mo, mas mataas yung selling price. Iyan yung incremental revenue mo. Sir, ano yung incremental cost? Yung further processing cost. Iyan yung pagpe-paint natin, pag-upholster natin ng chairs. Gets? Okay. Now, isa pang point, bago tayo mag-answer ng exercises. Balik ka sa joint cost. Napansin mo, class, yung joint cost, na-incur natin siya dito pa, sa simula. Bago tayo mag-decide, na-incur mo yan dito. Ibig sabihin, yung joint cost is a past cost or is a sunk cost. Therefore, joint cost is always irrelevant sa analysis natin. Okay? Na-incur muna yan before, irrelevant na yan. Okay? Let's go to problem number 10. Apply natin yan. A company manufactures 3 chemicals, A, B, C, from a joint process. The 3 chemicals are industrial grade, form at the split off point. Okay? They can either be sold at that point or processed further into premium grade. Pwede mo lang siya ibenta agad at split off, or pwede mo siyang i-process. Okay? Cost related to each batch of this chemical process is as follows. Sales value at split off point. Ano ibig sabihin? Yun yung selling price at split off. Okay, kay A, B, and C. Allocated joint costs. Uy, sabi ni sir, pag joint cost, irrelevant. So, huwag mo sama sa analysis yan. Sales value after further processing. Ibig sabihin, pag pre-analysis mo, yung bagong selling price yan, yun yung sales value after processing. And then, cost of further processing or yung further processing cost. Yan yung mga given sa atin. For which products above, would it be more profitable for the company to sell at the split off or sell immediately rather than process further? Paano natin malalaman yan, sir? Apply mo lang to. Ipa-process further mo siya if the incremental revenue is greater than incremental cost. Ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. Si product A, okay, number 10, product A, B, and C. A, B, and C. What is the incremental revenue for product A? Yung increase in selling price. Okay, tingnan natin. Si product A, from 16,000 naging 20,000. Tama ba? Incremental revenue mo is 4,000? Tama? 16 naging 20, so 4,000 yan. Si product B naman, from 12 naging 18. So that's 16,000. 12 naging 18, so that's 6,000. Alright? Si product C, from 5,000 naging 9,000. So that's an increase of 4,000. That's your incremental revenue. Alright? Now, how much yung incremental cost? The further processing cost. Nandun sa last item. Cost of further processing, si A, 5,000. Siyempre, cost yan, so negative. Si B naman, 3,000. And then si C, 2,000. Okay, so, compute natin, class. Si A, meron siya negative 1,000. Si B, positive 3,000. Si C naman, positive 2,000. Okay, so from there, sino yung ibenta natin at split off? Sino yung further process natin? If further process mo, lahat ng positive. Okay? So, further process, sell at split off natin si product A. Okay? Sagot mo dyan, class. Letter A only. Okay? Ang tanong kasi sino doon, ibibenta natin agad. Si A. Kasi pag pre-process further mo siya, lugi ka pa ng 1,000. Si B and C, panalo ka ng positive 3,000 and 2,000 pag nag-process further ka. So, ang decision natin, ang conclusion natin, ibenta mo agad si A, si B and C, process further natin. Gets? Number 10, letter A yung sagot mo dyan. Number 11. Ganun pa rin. No? Two products, X and Y, emerged from a joint process. Product X has been allocated 9/6 of the total joint cost of 12,000. Joint cost. Irrelevant kasi past cost na yan. Okay? A total of 9,000 units of product X are produced from the joint process. Product X can be sold at the split off point for 13. Pag binenta mo daw agad, 13 yung selling price. Or it can be processed further for an additional cost of 54,000. Iyon yung further processing cost natin. Then it can be sold for 18 per unit. Okay? Now, if product X is further processed and sold, what would be the effect of the overall profit of the company? Anong i-apply na natin dyan is our rule. Ipaprocess mo lang siya if the incremental revenue is greater than the incremental cost. Compute natin yung incremental revenue. Well, anong nangyari dito, class? Yung selling price niya at split off is 13. Tama ba? 13. At split off 13, and then, pag daw pre-process further natin, magiging selling price mo na is 18. Tama ba, class? Tataas ng 5 pesos. Tama? Pag nag-further process tayo. Ilang units yan? Sabi dyan, may 9,000 units daw na product X. Okay? So, 5 times 9,000, this is 45,000. Okay? 45,000, this is our incremental revenue. Does that make sense? Ginawa lang natin sa incremental revenue, tignan natin yung taas ng price. From 13, naging 18, so that's 5. Multiply natin by number of units, 9,000, that's 45,000. What is the incremental cost? Your further processing cost. Sabi sa problem, it can be processed further for an additional 54,000. 54,000. So, 45 minus 54, ang net mo dito is 9,000. Negative. Okay? Negative. So, it means, ang sagot mo dito, letter D, 9,000 less profit. Because, ang sabi dyan, okay, what would be the effect on the overall profit if i-process further mo siya? Bababa ng 9,000. Negative. So, dapat ano yung decision ni management dito? Sell immediately or process further? Sell immediately because pag nag-process further ka, bababa yung profit mo by 9,000. So, ulitin ko lang, how do you know if you sell immediately or process further? Apply mo lang to. Incremental revenue, pag mas mataas sa incremental cost, process further mo siya. What is incremental revenue? increase in selling price. What is incremental cost? Further processing cost. Okay, so that's how you do number 5. Let's go to the last one. Which products to produce given scarce resources? So, ano ba ibig sabihin ng scarce? Ibig sabihin ng scarce, class, it means limited. Okay? Limited resources. Okay? Hindi pwedeng unlimited yung pagpuproduce natin. Lagi tayong may mga limitations. Ano example ng scarce resources? Direct labor hours, machine hours, okay? Yung demand sa product natin, yun yung mga limitations natin. Okay? Now, meron tayong different products, alamin natin which of the products ang ipoproduce natin. Sir, paano natin malalaman yan? I-apply mo lang to class. You produce the products with the highest contribution margin per scarce resource. Okay, so ulitin ko class. Which products to produce? Yan yung kailangan natin pag-decidean. Okay, ang sagot lang dyan, we produce the products with the highest contribution margin. Ano yung contribution margin? Selling price minus variable cost. Contribution margin per scarce resource. Okay? I'll illustrate. Let's go to problem number 12. Okay, problem number 12. The constraint at ABC Corporation is time on a particular machine. So, yun daw yung scarce resource. Okay, yung time. The company makes 3 products that use this machine. Data concerning those products appear below. So, meron tayong products A, B, and C. Okay, alamin natin ilang products ni A, B, and C yung ipoproduce natin. Okay, we have selling price, we have variable cost, minutes on the constraint, yun yung constraint natin or yung scarce resource. Okay, ibig sabihin yung minutes, number of minutes, kasi limited lang yan. Okay? Market demand, 100, 150, and 200 for products A, B, C. Ibig sabihin ng market demand, yun lang yung pwede nating ibenta for each product. Yun lang yung demand nila. Okay? Assume that the total available minutes is 150. Yan yung scarce resource natin. Determine the best combination of the products to produce. Paano gagawin mo dyan, sir? Ayan lang. Kumpitin natin yung contribution margin per scarce resource. Ganito gagawin ko for problem 12. Okay, doon mo tayo kay A, B, and C. Tingnan natin. How do you compute for the contribution margin? Selling price minus variable cost. So, kumpitin natin si A. Selling price niya is 192. Variable cost niya is 158.72. So, minus 158.72. CM ni A, or contribution margin, is 33.28. Let's do the same thing for B and C. For B, 542.66 minus 420.54, you get 122.12. Yun yung CM ni B. Si C naman, 222.84 minus 167.76, you get 55.08. Okay? Pero hindi pa tapos yung class. Kasi sabi natin dyan, per scarce resource. I-divide mo pa yan sa scarce resource. Ano yung scarce resource dito? Yung number of minutes. Okay? So, i-divide mo pa siya by 3.2. So, divide natin by 3.2. For A, for B is 8.6. For C naman, 3.6. Okay? So, makukompute mo dyan, contribution margin per scarce resource or yung number of minutes. Alright, 33.28. For A, divide natin by 3.2. You get 10.4. And then si B, 122.12, i-divide natin yan by 8.6, 14.2. And then si C, 55.08, i-divide natin by 3.6, you get 15.3. Now, paano natin sir malaman kung ilan yung puproduce natin? Ang ipaprioritize mo dyan, yung highest. Okay? Alin yung highest dyan? Si C, 15.3. Second highest si B, and then si A, yung lowest. Alright? Yun yung ranking natin. So, si C muna yung i-produce natin. Now, take note class na ang total minutes natin for this problem, nakalagay dyan, 150. Iyan lang yung pwede natin magamit na minutes. So, pag produce mo si C, ilang units ba si C? Ang demand sa kanya is 200. Okay? Pag 200, ang produce mo kay C, and then 3.6 minutes per unit si C, ilang units yung may incur natin para kay C? 200 times 3.6, 720. Okay? Kaya pa. So, yung total natin is 250. Pag produce mo si C, minus 720. So, may matitira pa sa atin. Okay? Next mo na ipoproduce is si B naman. Si B, ang demand niya dito class is 150 units. Ilang minutes si B? 8.6 per minute. Okay? 150 times 8.6, 1290 minutes para kay B. Okay? So, tingnan natin class kung ilan pa yung matitira kay A. Kung ang total mo is 2150, and then si C is 720, minus B, 1290, ang matitira kay A is 140 minutes. Tama lang? Ilang minutes si A? 3.2 per unit. Pag dinivide mo by 3.2 yan, si A, ang ipoproduce mo sa kanya is 43.75 or 44 units. O, yan ang sagot natin. Therefore, ang ipoproduce natin class, ang sagot natin, para kay C, i-maximize natin yung demand, 200 units. Para kay B, 150. And then para naman kay A, ang ipoproduce mo is yung remaining na 44 units. Sagot natin dyan, letter C, 200 units of C, 150 units of B, and 44 units of A. Okay, letter C for number 12. So take note, ang ginawa lang natin class dyan, kinumpute mo natin, ang pinaka-important is the contribution margin per scarce resource. Ni-rank natin siya, si C muna, then si B, then si A. I-maximize mo muna si C. Okay, lahat, 200 na demand, i-produce natin yan para kay C. Same way for B, and then yung remaining, ibigay natin kay A. Okay, ito yung final answer natin. Ayan. So ayan class, 6 types of incremental analysis. Ito lang mga kailangan mo tandaan. Lahat ng problems sa incremental analysis, I guarantee you, kayang-kaya mo sagutin yan. Okay? Let's end our discussion by answering the theory questions. Kaya ako hinuli yung theory kasi pag alam mo na yung computation, madali na sa yung theory. O sige. 16 items for theory. Number 1, the process of evaluating financial data that change under alternative courses of action is called, well, yung topic natin for today, incremental analysis, letter A. Okay, incremental analysis. Number 2, which of the following pairs of stages in the management decision-making process is sequenced properly? Okay, so tingnan natin. Letter A, evaluate possible courses of action and then make a decision. Letter B, review the actual impact, then determine the possible course of action. Letter C, assign responsibility, then identify the problem. Letter D, make a decision and assign responsibility. Answer mo dito as is letter A. Letter A, evaluate possible course of action and then make a decision. Parang sa mga ginawa natin. Ito yung mga alternatives and then in-apply natin yung rules natin to arrive at our decision. For number 2, letter A. Number 3, relevant costs are A, all fixed and variable costs. Do you agree? Hindi lahat ng fixed. Avoidable lang dapat. So mali na yung A. Letter B, all costs that would be incurred within the relevant range of production. Hindi yan. Okay, all costs, hindi. Lahat lang dapat ng variable and avoidable fixed costs. Letter C, past costs that are expected to be different. Oh, mali na yan. Basta past costs or sunk cost, irrelevant lagi yan. Okay, letter dog yung sagot natin. Relevant costs are anticipated future costs that will differ among various alternatives. Okay, this is a definition of relevant cost. Dog for number 3. Number 4, an opportunity cost is letter A, a cost that may be shifted to the future. Letter B, a cost that cannot be avoided. Hindi, unavoidable cost yung boy. C, the difference in total cost result from selecting one alternative. Differential cost yan. Letter D yung sagot mo dyan. The profit forgone by selecting one alternative instead of another. Saan natin na-encounter yung opportunity cost? Dito. Pag may special order tapos wala kang excess capacity. Okay? Opportunity cost mo is the forgone contribution margin. Letter D for number 4. The term differential cost refers to letter A, the profit forgone by selecting opportunity cost yung A. Letter B, a cost that continues to be incurred even though there's no activity. Fixed cost yan. C, a cost common to all alternatives. Hindi yan. Letter D yung sagot. The difference in total cost that results from selecting one alternative instead of another. That's differential cost. Parang yung example natin kanina. Pag nag-make ka, ito, 70,000. Pag nag-buy 50, yung difference sa 20,000, ang tawag mo doon, differential cost. Letter D for number 5. Number 6, a cost incurred in the past that cannot be changed. Sunk cost. Letter boy. Sunk cost is irrelevant. Number 7, irrelevant costs generally include sunk cost, irrelevant? Yes. Historical cost? Yes. Parang yung kanina yung cost of old machine, irrelevant yan. How about yung allocated cost? Yes. Example, advertising. Okay? So, yes, yes, and yes, dog yung sagot natin for number 7. In a make or buy decision, letter A, fixed costs that can be avoided in the future are relevant. Do you agree? Yes. Pag avoidable fixed cost, relevant yan. A na yung sagot natin. So yeah, letter B, only variable costs are relevant. Hindi, kasama dapat yung avoidable fixed costs. Only prime costs are relevant, etc. A yung best answer dito. Fixed costs that can be avoided in the future are relevant. Okay, number 9. In deciding whether to manufacture a part or buy it from the outside vendor, make or buy, okay? A cost that is relevant is, letter A, direct materials and direct labor, yes, variable cost yan. Letter B, variable overhead, yes. Letter C, fixed overhead that will be avoided or avoidable fixed cost, yes. Answer mo dyan, dog, all of the above. Number 10, in considering a special order that will enable a company to make use of its present idle capacity, which of the following costs would be irrelevant? A, fixed factory overhead that can be avoided, relevant yan. Materials, relevant yan. Depreciation on the factory building, well, wala naman sinabi na avoidable siya. If the problem is silent, yung fixed cost, unavoidable. Okay, C yung answer mo dyan, irrelevant yan. Direct labor is irrelevant. For number 10, it's letter C. Number 11, the minimum selling price that should be acceptable in a special order situation, assuming with excess capacity, okay, is equal to, general rule natin, the variable cost and avoidable fixed. Wala naman sinabing avoidable fixed cost sa problem, sagot mo dyan class, pag may excess capacity ka, letter C, variable costs. Okay, letter C. Number 12, the opportunity cost of making a component in a factory with excess capacity for which there is no alternative use. Class, kapag may excess capacity ka, meron ka bang opportunity cost? Wala. Zero yan. Dog yung sagot mo dyan. Kailan ka may opportunity cost? Pag without excess capacity. For number 12, dog yan. Okay? Number 13, a company is deciding whether or not to replace some old equipment with new equipment. Which of the following is not considered? A, annual operating cost of the new machine. B, annual operating cost of the old machine. Well, yung difference nila, relevant yun, okay? Alin daw yung hindi natin i-consider? Letter C, net cost of the new equipment. Future cost yun, relevant yan. How about yung book value of the old equipment? Sunk cost na yan, okay? D, dog is irrelevant. So yun yung sagot natin, dog. Number 14, a manager is attempting to determine whether a segment of the business should be eliminated. Nasaan yun? Ito. Ano yan? Segment margin, kukumpitin natin. Okay? The focus of the attention for this decision should be on, punta ka sa letter D or dog, sales minus variable expenses minus avoidable fixed expenses. Anong tawag na doon? Segment margin. If it's positive, retain. If it's negative, eliminate. So, dog yung sagot mo for number 14. Number 15, the costs incurred prior to the split-off are referred to as, ito yung split-off. Cost prior, ang tawag dyan, joint cost. Joint costs are irrelevant. Sagot mo dyan, dog, joint costs. And last one, number 16, when a scarce resource, such as space, exists in an organization, the criterion that should be used to determine production is, produce natin, ang priority mo, highest contribution margin per scarce resource, letter C, contribution margin per unit of scarce resource. Okay, that's the end of our discussion for incremental analysis.